Amid constant pockets of violence, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said at the close of the deadline for uploading the list of agents to the INEC dedicated portal by political parties, 34,704 agents were uploaded for Bayelsa State, 65,274 for Imo State, and 37,995 for Kogi State, making a total of 137,973 agents as the electoral body prepares for Saturday's off-season polls. Joining us now as we take a look at INEC preparedness for the off-cycle election in Bayelsa State is Effanga, Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC Bayelsa State. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, quickly, how prepared is INEC in Bayelsa State? And what arrangements have you made for ensuring the early arrival of election materials in the riverine remote areas in the state?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to say that INEC Bayelsa State is as prepared as we ought to be at this time going into the election. As we speak, I'm in the office. We are about to move the BVAS machines from the state office to the local government areas, but they will stop over at CBN, where the other sensitive materials would be given to the local government areas, and they will move to the local government areas today. Today is Thursday, so they'll get to all the local government areas today, and they have tomorrow to set up the racks, that's the registration area centers. That is where the polls officials will camp overnight and then move to the polling units on Saturday morning.
Are you under any pressure from politicians, considering the fact that the politics of Bayelsa State has assumed a special color?
No, I'm not under any pressure. I focus on my work and work with my team to deliver on an election, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm focusing on. I don't have any pressure from anywhere.
Okay, so let's talk about security and the work you're doing as regards collaboration with the security agencies. A deputy governorship candidate, Mr. McIver, was calling for blood, pretty much. And it's quite scary because that was at a campaign rally. One, what's your reaction? And that his call, how much are you prepared for eventualities of threats like that? How are you going to secure your material
we can only rely on
if it starts? How are you going to secure the integrity of your machines if it starts? Yeah.
Yes, we are aware of possible threats to the election from different areas, and we can only rely on the security agencies to provide adequate security. They are aware of areas they have to intensify their work on and the personnel requirement they need in those places. So far, I'm satisfied with what the security agencies are doing. I've also got a briefing this morning from one of the assistant commissioners of police who is closely working with us here in INEC about where the men are, the personnel are at the moment, and what they intend to do furthermore. So when it comes to election security, the security agencies take care of that, and I'm sure that they know the importance of this election and the importance of security to the election. And we can only rely on them to do that. Ours is to make sure that we move our materials and our personnel to the locations, and then that our people are well trained and informed and capable on delivering on the election.
Well, can you talk to us about the collection of permanent voters' cards? Because there were reports about, the people not showing enough enthusiasm about the election. And have you done anything to encourage people to come out to vote, particularly in those places where there have been reports of violence, like Ukunembe, like Brass, like Southern Ijo, and Ekremo?
Okay, talking about collection of voters' cards, I think that Bayelsa has one of the highest figures in terms of voters' cards that have been collected compared to the number of registered voters. So our figures for number of registered voters is 1,056,862. And of this number, 1,017,613 have collected the permanent voters' cards. But of course, we also know that not all the permanent voters' cards that have been issued, the owners of those cards, not all of them are available. Of course, that includes people who are dead anyway, and people who are out of the state or out of the country. But we have been involved in a lot of publicity going into this election. I'm sure everybody is aware that election is going to happen on this Saturday. The other issue is how many of them will turn up to participate in the election. We can only know that by the time the election comes. But of course, there's been efforts to encourage people to come out and vote. Even where there are security issues, the security agencies have also assured the people that their security will be taken care of. And we have also seen in the last few days a huge number of security personnel that have been moved into those locations. So I think that there is assurance to the people for them to come out to vote.
Okay, let's talk about IReV. Will results be uploaded on IReV? That's number one question. Number two, are you planning for any, emergency of technical glitch of any sort? Would you be forthcoming to quickly give information to the press and the people in a case where a technical glitch happens?
Okay, yes, we will use the IReV. Yes, the IReV was introduced by INEC in 2020, and INEC has used the IReV in all the elections from 2020 to date. We are going to use the IReV in this election. And I've assured people over and again. We've told people that IReV has come to stay, and we'll use the IReV for this election. IReV, for those who may not understand what this means, it's a portal where pictures of the polling unit results are uploaded to on election day. So when you finish counting and recording the votes in the polling unit, and that is signed up, copies of that election result are given to the agents of the political parties at the polling unit, and then we use the beavers to take a snapshot of that result, and that is what is uploaded on the IReV. Yes, we will use the IReV for this election.
I talked about technical glitch. In a case of emergency of technical glitch, are you going to be forthright enough to be able to quickly tell the people and the press in a case of a technical glitch?
Well, in the event
Yes.
In the event that happens, everybody will see, and we will also talk about it.
Secondly,
but I don't foresee that would happen.
How glitch-proof is this IReV system?
Well, I am not in the ICT unit of department of INEC, so I cannot talk about that. But I think that so much has been talked about that issue of the IReV, the glitch, and all that. The truth is that after that incident happened once, we've not had that happen in the subsequent elections, because that happened for some hours with the presidential election, and then it was fixed. And for all the other elections that we've conducted after then, it was used effectively. So I would rather we talk about what has happened going forward. The fact is that has been taken care of. Yes, that incident happened, but we shouldn't focus on that incident only when we are talking about IReV.
Well, if you can hear me, you were resident electoral commissioner in Rivers, and now you are in Bayelsa. Has there been any difference in terms of...
Also in Edo State.
You're also in Edo State. Okay, but the last one was Rivers before you came to Bayelsa.
No, it was Edo State.
It was Edo. Okay, I was just.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me tell you my trajectory. I actually started in Rivers State, in Edo State, in 2017, when I was first inaugurated in July. I started in Edo State in 2017 in July. I didn't conduct election there. After 9 months, I was moved to Rivers State in April of 2018. I conducted the general election in Rivers State in 2019, and I stayed there until my first tenure expired last year, July of last year. I was reappointed and inaugurated in November of last year, and I was posted to Edo State. I was in Edo State, and I conducted the last general election in Edo State. I was only transferred here at the end of August this year. So this is going to be the third state I'm going to conduct election in. You were asking what has changed or what's the difference?
Your experience so far, although you've been there for less than 4 months in Bayelsa, what are the major challenges?
A little over 2 months, yes. Well, apart from incidents reported incidents of violence now and then, I think that Bayelsa has been quite peaceful. And coming in here, I was quite surprised at how peaceful the state is going into the election. And until on Monday, our offices here were still very free for people to come in without the presence of so much security. But it's only this week when we are going to the election that much of security had to be beefed up around the locations where elections are going to be carried on. I think that there's a lot of peaceful, there's much peaceful atmosphere in the state. Of course, it's election season. You will imagine that once in a while, there will be agitations or incidents of violence, sadly. But I think that I'm satisfied with the level of peace I'm seeing here, and we only pray and hope that this continues into the election and after. And like I keep telling people, there's something unique about Bayelsa State. It's about the most ethnically homogeneous state in the country. So everybody here is of one ethnic stock, and there may be variants. And so even in the discussions we've had with them, like when we had yesterday when they signed the peace accord, it was emphasized the fact that whoever is going to be elected governor of Bayelsa State is going to be one of many brothers and sisters who are contesting the election. And like I also try to emphasize, there are 16 candidates in this election. At the end of it, 15 of them will not win. Only one person would win. And because the one person that would win is like the rest of them, brother or sister to the rest of them. So at the end of it, it's Bayelsa that wins. And they are all of one homogeneous group.
Well, I was going to ask you, it's good you mentioned security. Do you have any special arrangement with the security agencies to protect your ad hoc workers, particularly those who will be going to the distant riverine areas?
Well, certainly we have that. Wherever our ad hoc workers are, the security agencies are aware. They know all the locations where our staff would be on election day, before the election day, on election day, and even after. And so we have arrangements with the security agencies to provide adequate security in those places, and they have also assured us of providing such security. Now, we are not, the work of the security agency is not only about protecting the personnel for the election, but also everyone that is involved in the election, including even the security people themselves, because they are also subject to being attacked. So they have to also take care of their security, the security of election personnel, the security of contestants in the election, the security of voters in the election, and the general public. So they are aware of that, and we keep emphasizing that whenever we have meetings.
Okay. Real quickly, leading up to this election, the INEC chairman said something. He said polling units where there's violence, the vote will not be counted. All I want to ask you is, what threshold would you use to determine violence in the polling units that will make the votes not be counted?
Well, if election is disrupted in the polling unit, on account of violence, then that means there's nothing to count there. And if our personnel are stopped from the use of the technology that we have to use, using the BVAS machine to accredit, then we will just record 0 votes in those areas. So it has to be violence of such a nature that it disrupts the election and does not allow us to conduct the elections properly.
So what if after the elections or after the accreditation, that's when the violence starts or the intimidation starts? How do you pin that down?
Remember that we have accreditation and voting simultaneously. So once somebody is accredited, the person is given the ballot to go ahead and vote. And so we expect that all through that process and the counting process and recording of the results, that peace is maintained. But I don't know at what time some of this violence could occur. But it would be violence of such a nature that affects us from effectively conducting the election in such a way that you would even dispute how a result could come out from such a place.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much, Obo Effanga, Resident Electoral Commissioner, Bayelsa State. Thank you for joining us on the morning show.